Well, hello and welcome back, everyone. The screenshot that you're looking at right here is a screenshot of a guy named James Swift. This was taken from a Netflix original series called Haunted, where people tell their very personal stories of demons and blah, blah, blah. In James Swift's story, his demon was actually a member of a church. He was sent to a conversion therapy camp where he was brought into a sex ring. He was beaten, raped, sodomized, put in a cage, had his hands clamped above his head inside the cage, forced to stand on his legs for several weeks, days, not sure how long, locked in a very, very cold room, fed very, very little, and he was also disowned by his parents, but on sending him after he got home from this conversion therapy camp that was ran by a church called the World Church. His mother, she was told by the priest that ran this camp that she had to perform sexual acts on him in order to get him to respond to, quote-unquote, a female's touch. That if he couldn't respond to the touch of a woman or a female, then he was indeed doomed. So already we're looking at pedophilia, we're looking at aspects of rape, we're looking at something very, very crazy, which is incestual pedophilia. So incestual child rape. All in the sake of trying to make this man not homosexual, which he is anyway, and has a partner, and has a group that he he's trying to open up homes for homeless teens, so they don't have to go through the same horror and trauma that he went through. If you have Netflix, I would recommend checking this out. The name of... I get no endorsement from this. I'm just saying if you want more context to his story, because he tells the full story, and you can see the actual... everything that he went through. The name of the series is Haunted. It's on Netflix. It's Season 2, Episode 3. I'm sure at this point you're wondering why I'm bringing all this up. Well, as you see by the title, which is more moral? According to the religious right, the alt-right, the neo-conservative, the ethno-nationalist, they say that homosexuality is somehow immoral. And so I wanted to present to you, this very interesting case. So this is how, this homosexual man was treated at a conversion therapy camp in the 1950s, 1960s, something like that. I can't remember the exact date. But I have to wonder, they say that it's immoral, and this is the thing to do, and to do what it takes, but I think most rational people, even if they're just regular conservative, even if they're just normal Christians, who is going to support incestual child molestation? Who's going to support putting a child into a sex ring? Who's going to support pedophilia and child rape? Who's going to support keeping somebody locked in a cage, standing on their feet for days at a time in about 28-degree temperature? Who supports this? And clearly, it didn't even work. He's not even straight. So I don't even know what point and purpose all of this has. But let's go with that premise, then, that absolutely, somehow, being homosexual is immoral. And that this is somehow, in some way, supposed to be a cure for it. A little more on James Swift is that the church that he attended was known as, or actually it wasn't known as, it was the Worldwide Church of God. And it was on Season 2, Episode 3. It's called Cult of Torture. A show called Haunted on Netflix is what this story is actually about. This is one of the shots from the show. And they talk a little bit about the world tomorrow in the Church of God, or the Worldwide Church of God. This church is no longer in existence. They have been shut down. This is James Swift, and this is his bio. James Swift is a conversion therapy survivor of a horrific torture camp that was located in Louisiana. In this gruesome camp, he was beat, sodomized, starved, caged. Staff performed shock treatment, tied him up, and was a complete victim of sex trafficking. All in the name of changing his sexual orientation. He was only a 15-year-old boy, in spite of walking through this fiery journey of a living hell. He is on a mission to tell his story in order to prevent child abuse in teen programs. He was on Utopia Fox Network and won Next Generation Indie Book Award for his book Rusted Rhinestones in 2016. James Swift has transformed his darkness into a light for homeless children to have a chance at a new beginning. As a young boy of 15, his own parents ostracized him from the family, and he was tossed into the wild jungle of the streets of New Orleans. The cold-hearted truth of fending for himself hit, and he felt that he had no other recourse than to resort to prostitution. This led to more beatings, rape, and it spiraled down a dysfunctional journey of despair. After reaching rock bottom, he started pulling himself out of the muck of an endless deep swamp. He learned a couple of trades as a hairstylist and massage therapist. He was able to not only support himself, but his brother, who was also shunned from the family. Most people would have thrown in the towel, crawled into a hole, resorted to suicide, but James Swift persevered in spite of these rough waters of an unforgiving storm. He finally calmed the unruly weather conditions that was heading for his path with his compassionate heart. Every cent of rusted rhinestones will be donated to helping children find a better path. He is raising money to open a shelter in order to help homeless children from a better direction. There will be classes to learn a trade, a safe environment, meals, and a warm place to sleep. This will be the facilitator for empowerment. It seems like it's really easy to trigger the alt-right, that pretty much all you have to do is say homosexuality is not even a choice. Or all you have to do is, well, I don't know. So consider this your trigger warning if you tend to be more on the conservative side, neocon, alt-right, ethno-nationalist, National Socialist, neo-Nazi type, or religious right. Consider this your trigger warning, because we are going to talk about homoerotica. So, here's the other position. The other position is, and I'm sorry that I've got only like I got two pictures of guys kissing and only one picture of females kissing. Apparently, lesbian, like female homosexuality, just isn't as popular for some reason. And I think it gets glossed over too much by society, and I'm not really sure why. I think it has something to do with the fact the female homosexuality generally is more acceptable, has been more acceptable in society than male homosexuality. That has to do with some other things, and I'm not going to talk about here. But I thought I would use these as backgrounds to kind of be edgy and kind of like make religious right people and people who are really uncomfortable with homosexuality or homoeroticism or homoromanticism. A lot of this is homoromanticism. I didn't get these from porn stuff. These are passionate kisses that mean something. You have two consenting adults that both agree that they want to engage in a sexual or a romantic or a sexual romantic endeavor with one another. They both can make up their own minds and make their own decision, have their own free will. They are of legal age to do so. They are free from the ties and the burdens of their parents. They can make this decision. It's what they want. It's what they will from both sides. Maybe they'll get in a relationship and they won't get along. That's always a possibility. Love can sting. Love is neither good nor evil. It's neither bad or good. Desire lurks beyond that. They both have this will. Maybe they'll get in a fight, an argument. Maybe the relationship won't work out. Maybe you could consider that some form of unethical practice. But let's be honest, this happens in the straight world too. This isn't something that is only solely indicative of homosexual relationships. In fact, gay males, homosexual male couples, have the lowest domestic violence rate than anyone else. I find that bizarre because it's two males both competing with the male ego and all the testosterone. But guess what? Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is just real facts here, but female homosexual couples have a higher rate of domestic violence than heterosexual couples or gay or homosexual male couples. Don't know why. I have no idea why. But that's not the point either. Domestic violence isn't tolerated even if you're straight, if you're heterosexual. These are two people that desire each other enough to engage in romanticism, or even sexual practice. They're agreeing to it. They want it. They desire it. There will be no victim walking away from this. We're not talking about bestiality, an animal that which cannot even communicate with us, that cannot not only not give consent, but has completely different sexual practices than we do. They are the same species, both human. They just happen to be the same gender. So what? I'm sorry, I'm diluting the water there by saying so what. But this is seen as immoral, unethical. There is no victim here. This isn't rape, like pedophilia is, where the child doesn't even know what's being done to them. They know what sex is. They know they want to have it. They know that they like each other. They know that they want to kiss. They know that they want to hold hands. They know that they want to be together. And that includes intimately. What is more intimate than sex, after all? So, this is this is immoral. I want to ask you that question. What is more immoral? Is it more immoral to cage somebody up, have their own mother rape them? Say hello to the cat. Be viciously sodomized by a priest? Be held in a cage for several days without being able to sit? Being forced upon your feet for several days because your hands are cuffed to the top of this cage, being held in 28-degree conditions, not being fed properly, not being clothed properly, put into a sex ring, having electrodes attached to your dick and your testicles. And if you so much as pop one single bit of sexual arousal towards the wrong sexual stimulus, zap. So we have that. Or we have two people, two males, two females, that both willingly want each other, sexually, romantically. Sometimes just sexually, a lot of the times just sexually because it's human nature. Don't tell me it doesn't happen in the heterosexual community. It does. Sometimes romantically, meaning they want a pair bond, they want to be with each other. I'll leave that question up to you. I know what my answer is. But I'll leave that question up to you, my audience. What really, really stands out to me is a mother that is told by a priest that she must molest her own child so that he responds to a female's touch in an effort to fix him. And I would think the same thing of a father doing that to his daughter. It would be horrifying because there's probably be a lot worse. Talking about actual penetration of her own body, probably. So in your mind, what is worse, and what do you think the majority of the population would answer? I want to know. What's more moral? I'm going to say that this is the end of the video. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell button on any channel you're subscribed to. Comment. I will have some links in the description below. And remember, I believe in choices. not one's ability to impose one's will on others against their own will.